Fund, because as many of you know, Global Fund investments are based on country priorities. And so having the country leadership really visible and making these decisions is important for the Global
Congratulate
Fund.
you and the government of Uganda on accomplishing yet another milestone in improving services for the country's people. This milestone, the completion and the inauguration today of a new warehousing facility for National Medical Stores, will help ensure that much-needed medicines and health supplies are properly managed from receipt to storage and onward until their ultimate delivery to the health facilities and use by those in need. The United States supports the governments of Uganda's objective of strengthening the public health supply chain to ensure consistent availability of essential medicines and health supplies for the Ugandan people.
This highly automated pharmaceuticals warehouse was constructed at a cost of 59.58 billion shillings by government, with support from development partners, and is a center of excellence in central vaccine management.
This warehouse has capacity of 30,000 pallet positions for ambient temperature, and it also has a cold room capacity of up to 4,200 cubic liters. That is for the cold items that we'll be receiving and warehousing in this place. This effectively increases our storage capacity fourfold, thus giving NMS the capacity to serve our people much better than the current capacity that we have.
National Medical Stores is a government agency with a mandate to procure, store, and distribute essential medicines and health supplies. Joshua Kagoro, Adia Nakuti, UBC News.
Meanwhile, President Yoweri Museveni has met and held discussions with members of the Uganda Bankers Association, who highlighted the association's contribution to the economy and their support to the National Development Plan. The President commended the banking and financial sector for their effort to align to the National Development Plan, as we hear in this story.
Your Excellency, we would also like to showcase the contribution we make to the socio-economic contribution of this country, share with you some of the initiatives that we have come up with. The Uganda Bankers Association is the umbrella body that is made up of 36 financial institutions, mostly regulated by the Bank of Uganda. It is made up of 3 development banks, East Africa Development Bank, Uganda Development Bank, and Afri-Exim Bank. We're also comprised of 24 commercial banks and 9 microfinance institutions.
We want to see this, you go and get the import list from URA. You will see the African elite have betrayed Africa. So, and because of that, of course, the purchasing power doesn't grow, because the hemorrhage is so big, so much. Okay, there is some purchasing power, but it doesn't grow because much of it is flowing out. And the banks were definitely aligned to that line. So therefore, on our side, I'm glad that you seem to be seeing, once you talk of supporting agriculture, supporting manufacturing, supporting exports, then I think we are beginning to be more aligned with you. The issue of the land titles, a land title, a collateral, Omsingo. Our word is easier than the English one. Omsingo of land which is not encumbered, if they don't pay, should be taken by the bank.
The mobilization of domestic revenue to ensure that our capacity to get resources, our own resources, to finance the budget is enhanced. So we are supporting the institutions that collect the revenue, principally URA, to implement our domestic revenue mobilization strategy, and it has started to yield results, Your Excellency, despite the challenges we are having now with the economy being hit by a number of shocks. We are now collecting more revenue than ever before. We have, in the last quarter one, collected over 5.4 trillion, and this registered a surplus of 286 billion shillings.
Now, the Ministry of Education and Sports has issued new measures to contain Ebola outbreak in schools ahead of the forthcoming primary leaving examinations that start next week. The First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Janet Kataha Museveni, says these measures are to help in curbing the spread and prevention of the Ebola virus disease in learning institutions.
My listeners, I want to begin by thanking God who has brought us this far in this year and in this examination season in our sector of education. We know that we have over 1.28 million children sitting this exam in this season. As you all know, this exam began earlier on in the month of October, about the 17th, with the lower secondary, S4. But I thought this time, as we enter a new week when Peer E is beginning, I thought that I would come to you so that I clarify some issues so that all of us, all our stakeholders in the education sector, especially in the primary subsector now, do agree with us and the parents, and we walk together on this journey as we start Peer E next week. As you are aware, the country is facing a different but not new an enemy in the form of Ebola virus, and the outbreak has been on now for some time. But as a sector, we recognize and appreciate UNICEF for the support extended to our education institutions of learning in those highly affected districts of Mubende and Kasanda. Therefore, together with the Ministry of Health, we have agreed on following measures to be observed during this phase of Peer E to ensure enhanced safety to the candidates, the invigilators, the scouts, the UNEB, leadership, and all those who are supervising Peer E, and the parents, of course, and other staff during this term of examination. Now, first and foremost, as a ministry responsible for education, we want to reiterate the importance of consistently observing the basic SOPs for prevention of the spread of the Ebola virus disease. I therefore urge those listening to me today that please remember that these SOPs are good not just for you alone, but for even those around you and the country in general. I want you to listen to me as I go through these agreed points. I call upon the UNEB monitors, the invigilators, the supervisors, and scouts to to be vigilant. Please be vigilant during this season of PLE and UCE and USCE. Please listen to what the Ministry of Health has prescribed as SOPs for prevention of the spread of Ebola virus disease in our country. This is very important. And sometimes the ministry sends out instructions, and some head teachers and in some schools decide to defy those instructions. But these instructions are always for the good and safety of everybody, especially you who are in schools and supervising this work, and the children themselves. So I want to reassure the public that as a ministry, we are working with the sister government ministries and agencies to ensure that we have a successful PLE conducted within the broad framework of Ebola SOPs as announced by the President recently. I'd like to inform all the school administrators and the public that the primary school pupils who are day scholars shall stay away from school. Now this is changing nothing. It's not as if we are sending children home. The schools which are day schools normally have children come to school every day and go home every day. In this season, just to allow the schools to have a space for PLE, we are saying that the day scholars should stay home, those who are from primary 6 to primary 1, so that primary 7 can have all the classrooms to spread out and do their exams. So all these other day scholars shall stay away from school during that time when P7 candidates are sitting PLE. And surely this is changing nothing, and it shouldn't be any problem. All pupils who are boarding at school but are not in P7 shall remain at school. Now this, I think, the parents agree with us this time, that it's not necessary to send these children home when they are going to have to come back to school. So we have agreed with the Ministry of Health, and now we are clarifying it for the teachers and schools, that these primary schools which are boarding schools will just stay at school. The children will not be in class, they will stay out of class, but they will stay in school. I want that to be clear when PLE is taking place. Therefore, head teachers must not send away boarding pupils back home during the time of PLE. I want that understood clearly. And the ministry has already sent out a circular to this effect. So this is just clarifying everything for all the public to know how this is going to be done, so that there will not be misunderstanding of thinking that the children are going to have to go home and PLE to take place. Yes, those who will be home are those who normally go home after school every day. But those who are boarders in school will stay in school. Arrangements have been made together with the Ministry of Health to ensure that P7 candidates who have been isolated because they are contacts for the Ebola virus disease, they will sit these exams too, but in a safer manner that we discussed with the Ministry of Health and also UNEP. Therefore, no Ebola contact or case that is willing and able to sit their end of cycle exam should be denied the opportunity to sit their exams. I want that clarified for everybody to understand. We have decided that these children will sit their exams, but we have agreed with UNEB to make this safe for them and also safe for others, so there will be no movement and no changes. These children will have their exams where they are. In addition, we have guided UNEB to ensure that as much as possible, learners affected by the Ebola virus disease, either as cases or identified contacts, sit their exams from the very school they have been studying from. I have already said that. So please understand, there will be no moving around these children. They will stay right where they are, but they will be empowered to do their exams. However, if affected pupils are from schools that are close to one another, Ministry of Health and UNEB shall work to see how such candidates can be transported safely to sit their exams from the same center together. The Ministry of Education, together with the Ministry of Health, are already engaged on how to ensure that once candidates complete their exams in the districts that are currently under lockdown, that's Mvende and Kasanda, the learners are able to return home in a safer manner, and that is consistent with preventing the spread of Ebola virus disease. We have discussed this with the Ministry of Health also. We agreed on how this will be done. So please just stay safe and trust that the system we have put in place will work for all the children, whatever problems are available now. Lastly, I want to assure our learners and parents and institutions of learning that as a ministry we continue to work closely with the Ministry of Health in monitoring this situation. As of now, it is important to consistently adhere to the guidance communicated through circulars from the Ministry of Education, but also the Ministry of Health, and the SOPs that we all know from the Ministry of Health to prevent Ebola spreading any further than it has done, so that we can complete the school calendar as planned. So please help us, every one of you, where they are strategically placed. Do your work as we pray and cover you in prayers, and you pray with us also, that God may really help us to see these exams through as we come to the end of the year. I thank you for listening to me, and I pray that everybody will do their part, because all the schools have the circulars from the Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Education, and now I have tried to do this clarification so that all of us are together and understand.
The First Lady and Minister for Education and Sports, Mrs. Janet Katam Museveni, they are of course clarifying in as far as the Ebola virus prevention is concerned, especially during this school term, and even as primary leaving examination is about to start. And of course, still with the Ebola virus, it is here with us, and the public is being urged to ensure that the SOPs are, are considered. And let's have a look now at the latest update from the Ministry of Health regarding the Ebola virus disease, and those are the graphics there showing the numbers, those who have died and those who have been infected. But just take a watch. And that is the situation in the country in as far as Ebola virus disease is concerned. But of course, fighting it calls for your vigilance. Now, the Vice President, Jessica Alupo, has aided former women members of Parliament with 30 million shillings to help them remain afloat after losing their political offices. The women received the Vice President's humble contribution under their umbrella organization, Visionary Women Entrepreneurs and Advisory Center, during a get-together dinner hosted at Hotel Africana yesterday. Now, Visionary Women Entrepreneurs and Advisory Center is a multi-purpose voluntary vehicle that brings together current and former members of Parliament and any other women entrepreneurs for purposes of socio-economic empowerment. Take a watch.
In her motherly speech, Vice President Major Retired Jessica Alupo lauded the former members of Parliament for remaining focused despite losing their political offices and thanked them for keeping their families intact as well as continuing to work with the government in transforming communities amidst all challenges.
Good evening. Allow me to start by appreciating the leadership of the visionary women of the 8th Parliament, from the founding chairperson up to the current chairperson that we have and their executives. I thank you very sincerely. We are being viewed as role models, mentors, and I would like to encourage you to continue with the same spirit. And I want to thank those who came to Katakwi for the International Women's Day, and the people of Katakwi are still talking about the visionary women. And are saying, those are your friends who were with you when you came back here to stay with us and cultivate for cassava and so on and so forth. I said, yes, those are my friends. And those are very good friends. They can even use their own personal money to travel all those kilometers to come here and support you. That is the meaning of humanity. That's the meaning of true friendship. True friendship. Giving without expecting. You gave me without expecting. Thank you very much for giving me your time. His Excellency the President expressed his enthusiasm also to interact with members of the visionary family.
In her remarks, Princess Kabakumba Labone Masiko, the Visionary Women Entrepreneurs and Advisory Center chairperson, thanked President Museveni for entrusting women in very key positions of leadership in the country. Kabakumba said that it is their prayer that the Almighty continues to guide and protect the president to steer this country to middle-income status and entrusting women in strong offices of the Vice President, Prime Minister, and other cabinet positions. The Visionary Women Entrepreneurs and Advisory Center started in 2016 with a vision to contribute to a strong, vibrant, and sustainable credit and savings movement for national transformation, and a mission to touch livelihoods of members through provision of affordable and sustainable savings and credit facilities by pooling resources together as political leaders in order to remain afloat even after losing political office. The members are committed and strong NRM cadres tested with potential to propel ideals of the party to greater heights given the opportunity, and with resolve to serve their party and the country at large. Etole Ed Archangel, UBC News.
Now, it has been revealed that President Yoweri Museveni has condemned the manner in which Kampala Capital City Authority conducted an operation targeting the eviction of street vendors, a move which has since last year left many helpless. Now, this emerged during the Tuesday, 2nd November 2022 meeting convened by the President with Kampala leaders who were led by the Prime Minister, Robin Anabanja. And now the President directing that authorities should immediately devise means of settling up the vendors.
for you.
On Tuesday, 1st November 2022, President Yoweri Kaguta Museveni convened with Kampala city leaders led by the Prime Minister Robin Arabanja for a meeting at Nakasero State House.
A lot was discussed.
According to the Kampala RCC Amina Lukanga, the president said all public places like markets and transport parks must be managed by operators.
They wanted to let the country know that his interest is markets should be led by their vendors themselves. The vendors, people who have the stalls, people who have the locals, people who work in open spaces.
The forceful eviction of city street vendors was also a matter of concern during the engagement, and according to the RCC, the president wasn't happy with the manner in which it was conducted earlier, thus issuing new directives.
That's why he was asking, how come these people were just away minus knowing where these people are going? We wouldn't want to blame who did that. Maybe it was an oversight. Maybe they thought these markets that are available would be enough. Something that we have discovered is they are not enough. For sure, vendors are very many vis-a-vis the markets that we have. However, they advised that he has again advised and directed that all divisions must have a market and a taxi park. Though he had done it before in 2015 and it wasn't implemented. Now that's why maybe he changed it to put it before the Prime Minister, such that maybe something can be done. Therefore, we hope we are going to secure more places, public places where people can go and do their vending from.
The president is meeting with Kampala leaders comes in at a time when there is a general outcry over the reckless driving by many city cyclists, a situation which has seen police raise a red flag to the industry starting early next Monday.
Every time crashes happen on the roads, if there are 5 accidents on the road, 4 of them involve motorcycles. A lot of people are dying on the roads with these motorcycles. We are going to target all those ones that are not wearing reflective jackets. So effective Monday, all motorcycle riders on the road should be wearing reflective jackets. They're also going to target those ones operating without crash helmets. It has come to our attention that people don't want to wear crash helmets.
Teri yo oyinza kumatiza munna Uganda nti okujjawo obubenje oba okukendeza obubenje ate olina kukola operation. Ffe tulowooza ensonga zeetu obubenje buba butamanya bumalwawo na kusomesa. Saawa eno poliisi yandibadde nga tennaba kulangirira.
However, the operation is entirely backed up by the Kampala RCC.
Sometimes we don't want to speak, we don't want to talk, but want people to see. And I'm very sure the public has seen. The borders they think they have a right of way. They will pass everywhere, they'll stop whatever they want, they do whatever they do. They are arrogant, they abuse, in case of a little small mistake, they'll come and gang against Kukagamba. For them, they are beyond self. And at some point, because our people always take laws for granted, they think, that's how they always say. We need to tighten, cause something such that people will bring sanity to the city. It's too much. You've seen accidents unnecessarily. You've seen mob. You've seen everything. And we try to organize them. They refuse themselves. They kept on pulling ropes, not until they invited Mzei's attention and he halted it.
Cyclists, however, fault authorities for what they refer to as bad blame game. Robert Onyango, UBC News, Kampala.
Thanks, Robert, for that story there. But the question that still lingers on so many people's minds is, will the traffic police this time around do what they are saying? Because this is not a new story. Now, government, through the Office of the Prime Minister, has provided additional food relief to Mubende district following a 21-day lockdown.
Government on Saturday dispatched the first batch of food relief to the districts of Kasanda and Mubende that are currently under the lockdown to curb the spread of Ebola outbreak, while Mubende received 80 tons of maize flour and 40 tons. On Monday this week, the distribution of food to the beneficiaries kicked off, while many people missed out and did not get food due to inadequate supply, as claimed by leaders.
The other day, we were told we are going to get 750 tons of maize flour. We are going to get 375 tons of beans, and indeed it started coming, much as it came in bits and pieces. But I'm happy to report that today we have 50% of the food already in the district, and it has already been distributed.
Area RDC Byabashaija says this time round Mubende has received 270 more tons of maize flour, adding up to 350 tons, making half of what they are supposed to get as a district.
We invited all the local leaders to come and we agree on the way we shall take this food. I want to appreciate the Prime Minister's office gave us a guideline, and they said municipality will take 400 tons, Buwekula will take 150 tons, the rest of the constituencies will take 100, and we have implemented that.
She, however, revealed that at the moment they have suspended food distribution in Mubende municipality following all the scandals involved in the recent food distribution, and warned leaders to follow the right guidelines, vowing to deal with any leader who will intentionally illegally give out food to people who are not among the beneficiaries.
Also consider the border riders, we should consider the taxi drivers.
As the two districts wind up with a 21-day lockdown, the RDC disclosed that the lockdown has greatly helped in the reduction of Ebola infections in Mubende district.
So far got only 2 cases. The majority of the cases are from the neighboring district, meaning there is some improvement in Mubende. Because every day we would get a positive case, every single day. But now we could spend 4 days without getting a positive case.
According to the Mubende RDC and the task force head Rosemary Byabashaija, the government had committed itself to send 750 tons of maize flour and 375 tons of beans. However, 80 tons of maize and 40 tons of beans were originally sent to Mubende.
Kisenyi Health Center 4 has received an assortment of medical items to combat Ebola and COVID-19 viruses. Receiving the donation of items from Habitat for Humanity, the hospital focal person infection prevention control, Veronica Kagasa, said the items will help in preventing the spread of the 2 viruses.
In an effort to scale up response to the Ebola disease outbreak in Uganda, Habitat for Humanity Uganda has delivered assorted supplies to different locations in Kampala to help halt the spread of the virus.
Helping us in all those 5 places, it's big. We don't take it for granted. And we want to appreciate you so much. And we pray that you continue mobilizing more resources, because the demand is quite big, but definitely the supply is little.
The items handed over at Kisenyi Health Center 4 consist of personal protective equipment, sanitizers, temperature guns, hand washing facilities, among other supplies for health workers to safely care for patients in treatment centers. The items will also be given to other selected areas, including Summit Primary School, Kamocha Market, among other areas in Kampala slum establishments. Aldo Oroch, a meal specialist at Habitat for Humanity Uganda, says the items will enhance the protection of health workers who respond to the Ebola outbreak in Kampala. Oro says the provision of these supplies also seeks to ensure that health systems prevent and respond to shocks, crises, and emergencies that affect their city populations. Veronica Kagasa, the infection prevention control focal person for Kisenyi Health Center 4, expressed gratitude to Habitat for Humanity Uganda for their contribution towards the fight against both COVID-19 and Ebola. Kagasa says the staff at the facility have been trained on Ebola prevention and control. Over 130 confirmed Ebola cases and 43 deaths by 31st October have been confirmed, according to Uganda's Ministry of Health. Sudat Kaye, UBC News.
News Tonight will now take a short break and we'll be returning with much more. Do stay with us.
Welcome to the Living Room Stadium. It's the FIFA World Cup. The match is about to start. Food and drink ready. There's no space left for anyone. Come on, get your lucky chair. Take your usual spot. Even the puppy has one. It's preparation time. You can feel the tension in the air. And do you have everything you need to believe?
The Tales of Kasozi, brought to you by Uganda Communications Commission.
Yes, hello? This is Kasozi. How can I help you?
Calling you from the mobile service center.
Okay. So how can I help you?
Well, we have noticed a few things wrong with your number and need your mobile money PIN.
Tonfera, never give out your password or PIN to any caller. Your mobile service provider will never call or ask for your personal details. If in doubt, go to your nearest phone service center.
This message is powered by UCC, MTN, Airtel, Bank of Uganda, and NPSP Association.
Do you need data collection services, data analysis and reporting, monitoring and evaluation systems? Then contact Mold Technologies, a professional research firm that has provided many organizations with timely research solutions for over 15 years. For more information, visit www.mt.co.ug or call us on 0704 913 399 or 0782 602 963. Visit our office in Kampala at Sayuni Complex in Tinda. Mood Technologies, your professional research firm.
That's right. The Voice is coming to a city near you. From the 21st of October to the 10th of November, you get a chance to showcase your talent. Prepare a 1-minute MP4 video of yourself singing and upload it to thevoice.africa to register. Make sure you have a valid Airtel number, and if you're shortlisted, you will be contacted to come in for the live auditions.
Well, don't just stand there, let's go!
Music your passion, Africa your stage. The Voice Africa, connected by Airtel.
At Timex Nutrition Center, we advise you on the right foods to eat, exercise profile to adopt, and lifestyle strategies which are compatible to your blood group and genotype. This empowers your body to prevent and treat many diseases like diabetes, blood pressure, arthritis, ulcers, obesity, and many others. For more information, find us at our head office in Kampala on Nassa Road, Conrad Plaza, 2nd floor, or call 0758 819 952 or 0778 288 361. We also have other branches in Mbara and Jinja.
So, I'm here to announce that the MTN Kampala Marathon is back. And this year, we are running for babies. To be clear, I am not talking about a baby. No. And neither am I talking about to be baby. I am talking about these small dollars.
Run for babies in the MTN Kampala Marathon on Sunday, 20th November 2022. Dial *165 *77 hash or use the Momo app to register.
The Electricity Disputes Tribunal is a specialized quasi-judicial body established under Section 93 of the Electricity Act to handle all civil cause disputes relating, but not limited to, regulatory disputes, billing and licensing, tariffs, power generation, transmission and distribution issues, compensation resulting from activities in the electricity sector including civil wrongs and breaches of statutory and contractual duties and consumer-related complaints. The Electricity Disputes Tribunal is a special court and the first instance court that deals with electricity matters in the country. For more information, please contact the Electricity Disputes Tribunal at Amber House, Kampala Road, opposite Post Office, or call us on 041 23 2987.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready.
Welcome back from that break, and this is the first edition of News Tonight here on UBC TV. Let's have a look now at what's happening in the world of business. The National Curriculum Development Center and the Ministry of Education and Sports rolled out the new lower secondary curriculum in February 2020, aiming at producing graduates with employable skills that are competitive on the labor market. The Directorate of Industrial Training and the Ministry of Education and Sports, Dr. Patrick Byakatonda, says students will be equipped with hands-on skills for self-sustenance. We have more in this story.
Uganda's education system is targeting to produce graduates with skills that are competitive on the labor market. The Directorate of Industrial Training, Dr. Patrick Byakatonda, says government is committed to ensure many Ugandans acquire skills.
We're impressed by the investment in these projects. Now, when you see Taiba is one of the schools in its lower secondary curriculum, Mainnet has invested more in music. It has the band, it has the instrumentalist, and it has the dancing. The dancing is first class. But also in the areas of agriculture, they have some investment. In baking, they have baking, which is very good. But in sports, physical education, they are also there, especially swimming.
The Directorate of Industrial Training is on a familiarization tour countrywide in secondary schools to sensitize and inspect the preparedness of the new curriculum that is meant to equip learners with employable skills so that they can start up generating activities when out of school.
The number of compulsory subjects has already been given. Among the compulsory subjects, we have physical education. So the S1s have also now joined, and even the method of learning has changed. This time, as I know the teachers are taking you through, learning is through discussion. There is no wrong answers. You have to defend through discussion in the class. The seating arrangement has also been changed. We are not all facing the blackboard, but you sit round a table and have a formal discussion.
Secondary schools administrators commend the new curriculum for being more practical and user-friendly.
By introducing this curriculum, the lower secondary, which is covering now Senior 1 and Senior 2, I feel we are in the right direction. Of course, there are so many challenges which are associated with it. But as St. Mary's Chitende, it is good that when this curriculum was introduced, we embarked on it. We invited some few people from the ministry, which enlightened on the new curriculum, and I hope it has helped us a lot.
The new secondary school curriculum is a very good thing to start with, and a blessing, because it will help children to attain the theory part and to intensify the practical skills, which I think solves the unemployment problem we have.
8 vocational subjects for the start to be assessed by the Directorate of Industrial Training next year are agriculture, art and design, entrepreneurship, performing arts, nutrition and food technology, ICT, physical education, technology and design. Each student will sit for only one occupation according to his competence and convenience. Sudat Kaye, Henry Moganga, UBC News.
Now, it is a few days to the primary leaving examinations, and candidates in Kuania district have been empowered before sitting for their PLE. Rotary E Club of Uganda Global visited the young district in the north, visiting schools as well as empowering many with startup capital. We have more in this story.
And agriculture sectors. Many of the households depend on farming and a little of trade. A visit to Kuania district that was formulated in 2018, carved out of Apache district, agricultural works are evident. These are mainly at a homestead level. On the part of the education sector, a survey conducted shows that there are few private schools in the area and many depending on government-formulated institutions. But the question that comes through, what happens to children after their ordinary and advanced levels of education?
If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, clap twice. Good, you can hear me.
Some scholars who fail to make it to school take up agriculture, girls married off, while others join vocational institutes. Just like elsewhere, vocational institutions enhancing hands-on learning are key in such rural areas, and in Kuania district, there are a few of these. Now, Rotary E-Club of Uganda Global are here to change the lives of youth in Kuania district. Partnering with St. Joseph Catholic Parish, in Aduk village, young girls were not only skilled in technical aspects, but equally given startup capital, enhancing livelihood.
We are here in Kuania district to help the girl child and the ladies in the community of reproductive health to reduce on the stigma concerning the periods, the monthly periods. And here we have given out things that will help them to reduce that stigma. We've given out the sewing machines that are going to be used in the training for making the pads.
Under Rotary Vijana Poa and EcoPad as a partner, distribution of pads.
Welcome to Friends Stadium. Everybody's ready. Wait a second, not everybody. Come on, dude, it's the FIFA World Cup. You're going to lose your seat, the ritual seat, the lucky one. Losing more than a seat, your team is going to lose. Where are you, dude? The match is about to start. Your friends won't hold on much longer. Excuse me. Finally, everything is in the right place. Hey, other hand. And you, do you have everything you need to believe?
That's right! The Voice is coming to a city near you. From the 21st of October to the 10th of November, you get a chance to showcase your talent. Prepare a 1-minute MP4 video of yourself singing and upload it to thevoice.africa to register. Make sure you have a valid Airtel number, and if you're shortlisted, you will be contacted to come in for the live auditions.
Well, don't just stand there, let's go!
Music your passion, Africa your stage. The Voice Africa, connected by Airtel.
Welcome back from that break, and now let's have a look at what's happening in the latest in sport. 2 years after the first edition, the Federation for Motorsport Uganda, together with the Uganda Motocross Association and partners, have launched the second edition of Armed Forces Appreciation Motocross Championship, set for the 22nd of November 2022 at the Busika racetrack. Started in 2019, the annual event is used to raise money that meets some needs of the men in uniform as a way of appreciating their service to the nation.
After a successful first edition of the Armed Forces Appreciation Motocross Challenge in 2019 that raised about 100 million shillings for Uganda's armed forces, Federation of Motorsport Clubs of Uganda and Uganda Motocross Association, together with partners, have launched the second edition.
To appreciate the armed forces, because all our activities, the sports activities and the economy are running because the men in uniform do not sleep. They ensure that there is stability in this country. And because of that, we are able to thrive. We are able to go to the rest of Africa and conquer in sports because we have been given stability. This Armed Forces Appreciation Motocross Challenge is one of the biggest activities that motorsport is going to put up this year. And this is more of a world championship, because you're going to have riders from all over the world.
The race is a platform for talent identification, exposure and development. This year's race is expected to have close to 100 entries, with 20 of these coming from Europe, America, South Africa, Kenya and Tanzania.
And I can promise that what we are doing is good, and we have a lot of talents, but to identify them has been a problem, and of which I encourage everyone to participate and support our cause of talent identification, and we support the youth into this.
On behalf of the Armed Forces, Major General Leopold Chanda applauded organizers for the initiative, whose first edition benefits are still evident.
To have the people voluntarily appreciate the armed forces. So this is something very important, and I must say it can only happen because of the good leadership that we have in Uganda today. His Excellency the President has always put the wananchi first.
The government, through National Council of Sports, has committed 50 million shillings towards the event that takes place on 22nd November in Busika. John Burns, Sentamo, Ubc Tonight.
It is coming to 2 minutes to the hour of 9 here in the studios of UBC TV. We've finally come to the end of the first edition of News Tonight. Thank you so much for having kept us company on sign language. It has been Mugalu Mohammed and I am Rukidi Edward Kijanangoma. I'll be seeing you later on at 10 p.m. for our second and final edition of News Tonight.
UBC, inspiring Uganda. Did you know that a cashless, secure and convenient lifestyle is possible with Airtel Money Pay? Pay for your goods and services in the following simple steps. Dial *185 *9#. Enter the merchant ID. Enter the amount. Enter payment reference, for example, school items. Please enter PIN to confirm. You will receive a confirmation message for a successful transaction. Airtel Money. Instant, secure, borderless.
I see a mighty move of the Holy Ghost in Uganda in 2022.
Revival, restoration, reconciliation is here as Uganda celebrates 60 years. This is the year 2022. The revival, restoration, renewal, and a great